I've been trying to figure it out.
You're not even on it. You're yelling at me.
I thought I was. All right, that should be up now. Hey, all right, there we go. Nice, finally. All right. Don't mind the Mega Alakazam here. This is just something I was doing while I was testing out the stream. Right, Luna, you're shitting me right now. All right. All right, we got a good amount of viewers in here too. This is pretty exciting. Okay, just give me a hot sec here. Just want to put that in there so you guys also have access to the all right. All right. So here we go. This is my first ever live stream, guys. We got 21 viewers. This is actually really exciting. Thank you guys so much for yeah, I want you guys to be able to see the chat. So when we guys ask questions, they're there. We can all see the question together and we can talk about the question together. So that was my goal. I want that chat to be there for all of you. So what we want to do today is we want you guys to ask questions. Hopefully you brought some prepared. If not, you can come up with some as we're going along. I'm going to answer questions verbally. If you guys have team building specific questions, as far as like maybe we can look at some cores, some construct like of teams here, we can pull stuff up right here on the screen. Yeah, this is sweet. So let's start going. This is going to be primarily singles, but if you guys want if more of our questions are on doubles, we can definitely do doubles as well. What are your thoughts on Trick Room? First question. Here we go. This is exciting. What's your thoughts on Trick Room teams this generation? Grimmsnarl screens, plus Curse Surfetched, plus 2 screen setters, plus 1 Rapid Spinner. All right, so my thoughts on Trick Room teams. Well, so it's interesting that you bring that up. It definitely seems like Trick Room is something almost pushed by Game Freak this generation, because we had that item, right? What's the item? The room service, right? So we had the room service item. So if Trick Room is active, lowers holder speed by 1 stage, and that definitely is kind of pushing Trick Room a little bit. So we also got a lot of Pokemon that are a lot slower that benefit from Trick Room. However, I will say we didn't get a lot of Pokemon that set up their own Trick Room. So my thoughts on Trick Room as a whole have always been, it's really, really hard to use, unless you've got multiple Trick Room setters on a team, you're going to be really hard pressed to get a Trick Room setter in and benefit off of, a Trick Room setter in, set up the Trick Room, and then also bring your next offense Pokemon in and set up that. So that's a little hard pressed to do that. Now, obviously, it's possible if you have multiple Trick Room setters, it can be a little more reliable. But in generally, when I think of a good Trick Room user, I'm thinking of a Pokemon like, for example, Slowking, that can set up the Trick Room and then also is slow enough and offensive enough to use the Trick Room itself. So Slowking is like the perfect Trick Room mon in my mind, where the Pokemon, like some people would ask about, like Grapple Lock, is not that fantastic. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Trick Room teams. Now, definitely think it could get pushed. All right, next question here. Definitely want thoughts on Oranguru Torkoal. The doubles was fun in Sword and Shield. Is it good? Sorry, was in Sun and Moon. Is it good in Sword? Sure, guys, be a little more specific, Jacob, about what are you doing, bud? You're going to be a little more specific about what you're thinking as far as Oranguru and Torkoal. I'm not understanding your question there. So The asks, do you think Tailwind is going to be viable? It seems with speed changing mid-turn, it could be cool. So, is Tailwind? I don't think Tailwind's going to be any better than it ever has been, which is to say, super niche. Never has been quite that good. The Pokemon that benefit the most from Tailwind are like mid-speed, really powerful hard hitters. Think about something like Kyurem Black is a Pokemon that would really benefit from a Tailwind user. But in general, in a similar vein to Trick Room, if you're using Tailwind, the Pokemon that really benefits from the Tailwind needs to be the one that was already in the field because you only have 5 turns. You have the turn you set it up, so then you're down to 4. You switch a turn. Your opponent probably knows you're going to switch, so now you're down to 3. And just that kind of adds up to put you in a spot where like you're just going to be pretty hard pressed to make use of those turns. All right, I hope that answers your question. Isaiah Valdivia asks, should I start with the Pokemon I want to use or counters for common things used? I think that's definitely an approach that's a personal decision. I think you're going to want to start with something you want to use. That's what I would do. Anti-meta decisions, which is what the second part of your question is asking. Anti-meta decisions can really be about, like, okay, get away from here, dude. Sorry, the dog. I think you're going to really be hard-pressed if you're starting with the counters to build a good team around that. But I mean, it's definitely an option. Like, for example, Clefable is a Pokemon for 2 generations in Gen 6 and Gen 7 that was, like, basically only good because Clefable's always been so good because it's always been anti-meta. Clefable is a Pokemon that's always anti-meta. And so, I don't think you'd start a team around Clefable because Clefable, you kind of want to start around a WinCon usually. I don't know. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I know that's kind of roundabout way of talking about it. Spotted Husky 101. Do you like Dynamax? What's your favorite new thing in X and Y up? What does that mean? X and Y in Dynamax? I don't really... Okay, well, I guess I'll talk about Dynamax then, at least answer that. Do I like Dynamaxing? I think it's cool for the in-game stuff, but in competitive play, I really, actually, will be honest with you guys, I kind of despise it. I have not enjoyed Dynamaxing at all. It has really turned me off of competitive play so far. It just feels like every game becomes a matter of who Dynamaxes, like who successfully gets off their Dynamax sleeper first. So I've had some mixed feelings about it. I like it in game, I guess, but just in general, in competitive play, I think it's got to kind of go, which kind of sucks because it is this kind of like generation-defining mechanic, right? So it's kind of crappy if we just remove it right away, but it's definitely feels like it's a little busted. I don't know. That's my thoughts on Dynamaxing, though. What counters are there for Cinderace's court change? That's a great question. Asked by OMG. What counters are there for Cinderace's court change? So, what counter? Let's think about this. The best counter would be offensive pressure. Not overly stacking hazards, obviously. So, the best counter would probably be not running spikes or toxic spikes or sticky webs and only relying on a stealth rocks on your team. It's probably your best bet against court change. Otherwise, I would say your best bet is running hyper offense that doesn't rely on taking hits because those hyper offensive matchups will be kind of defined more by who's attacking first and getting off their offensive pressure. So the amount of damage you're taking off the hazards will be less relevant. So if you want to plan against Cinderace's court change ability, you're probably going to want to do it based on applying more offensive pressure and not playing as defensively. So definitely run like a very, very aggressive hyper offense team to beat that. Things that are faster than Cinderace would also help a lot, obviously, because Cinderace is pretty fast, so it'll be pretty decent against a lot of offensive teams. 1 sec, guys. All right. How about a singles? All right, so let's look at Robbie Vins asks, how about a singles or doubles Machamp? All right, so let's take a look at Machamp, right? This is what I kind of had this pulled up for. So Machamp's, you're going to want to take a look at those abilities to start. Obviously, we look at the stats. Got fantastic attack, decent overall mixed bulk, no speed. A little too slow to utilize a Scarf effectively. 55 speed is just not going to be good enough for most Scarf users. So you've got a couple of options here. You can go no guard. I think Assault Vest is a really good item on Machamp. I think Choice Band is a really good option. You could go like no guard, and you could go either Choice Band or Assault Vest. We're going to go Choice Band, and we're going to go Dynamic Punch because that's what you're going to want to be using if you're using no guard, right? No guard, Dynamic Punch, and we can also throw in Stone Edge, so we're not missing those. After that, it's kind of just up to you. I would definitely run like Knockoff to hit Psychic types, for example. And then after Ghost types as well. And then after that, I think Earthquake's a really good option. And then like a coverage move, I guess Ice Punch could be a good option. Poison Jab to hit Fairies could be a really good option. We'll go Poison Jab. And then obviously you're going to go with a bulky band, I think. I mean, you might want to go into speed instead. But I think for the most part, in this set, with Machamp, you probably want to invest in a bulk. Now, obviously, another option would be going like a Flame Orb Gut set. In that case, you would probably run Close Combat. Probably not Cross Shop. Probably want to run Close Combat. And then probably a similar set from there and just do something pretty similar. And this would probably be your Flame Orb Gut set. Now, obviously, if you wanted to go Assault Vest No Guard, you could do Assault Vest No Guard, and we could look at like a Dynamic Punch. And again, probably similar set. I think Stone Edge is pretty good all the time if you're running no guard. Knockoff is always going to be really useful. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. All right, let's take a look here. Jacob Ruby asked about Eruption / Instruct You Trick Room and then Instruct Torkoal to Eruption twice. Huh. Now, that is cool. It kind of is based around keeping Torkoal healthy. So I'm going to say it's kind of gimmicky because you're going to have a hard time keeping your Torkoal healthy enough, Jacob, to make Eruption's damage really impactful. So I'm going to say it's a little gimmicky, but let me know how it goes. Frickin' Down asks my thoughts on Cramorant. I don't know. I haven't looked a ton at it, honestly. Get Prey with Surf Dive. These attack stats aren't great, so it's not like you're going to get a lot of chance to click Surf or Dive or anything. Where's Custom here? I just want to check. Anything goes will do. Alright. I mean, it's got a cool move pool here. I'm seeing a lot of stuff, but these stats just aren't backing it up at all, man. Like, Scald is good, Liquidation's good, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, Hurricane, Brave Bird. It's got the moves, but these stats are just so abysmal. Like, nothing is, like, okay special defense, I guess, but these stats are just so abysmal. I don't know. Wow, 33 viewers, guys. That's awesome. If you guys want to hit the like button and show some support, that'd be awesome. 33 viewers is pretty cool. All right, that's pretty awesome. All right. Ethan Hunt asks, I know Grimmsnarl is good, but who pairs well with it? Let's take a look. So you're either going to run Play Rough or Spirit Break. I think you want to run Play Rough. 15 damage, people might say that 15 damage, that can't be that impactful. 15 damage can't be that impactful. 15 damage is pretty impactful. It's worth risking the 10% accuracy. Spirit Break 75 is quite a lot lower than I think people expect. Sucker Punch, I think this line got, right? Yeah, you're definitely going to want to run Sucker Punch. And then it didn't get Knockoff, though. Right, I remember that. So what's it going to struggle with? It's going to struggle with Steel types, it looks like right now. What do you get to beat Steel types? I guess moveset beat Steel types. Alright, Superpower, for example. Then maybe like a Swords Dance. Doesn't get that. Damn. Taunt, make use of Prankster, I guess. Maybe yeah, I like that. Thunder Wave. I like that. Okay. Do I want to change those EVs? Not at all. Yeah, I think your partners will probably be like, it's pretty good Pokemon. It's pretty self-sufficient. Unfortunately, I think you're going to just get beat by really strong attackers. So I think you probably want to pair Grimmsnarl with a more defensive team overall. I think it's just going to be hard-pressed to probably beat a lot of more offensively oriented teams. So you're going to want to pair it with some good walls. because the stall teams, Grimmsnarl is basically tailor-made to just destroy stall teams with taunt, with prankster and taunt and stuff. So the stall teams Grimmsnarl can eat up for breakfast. So you're gonna want to find ways to pressure other opposing offensive teams when you're dealing with them. All right, I'm kind of falling behind here, so we're gonna have to speed up the pace. So Dracovish. Dracovish has been really popularly requested. This thing is absolutely nuts for sure. Honestly, this Strong Jaw with Fishing Rend is honestly kind of insane. Vicious Rend. Basically, you have to run a Scarf, or you have to find you have to run a Scarf. This is kind of insane. This thing is extremely powerful. I think this thing's gonna be quite the menace in the meta. A video on it's coming up pretty soon though, guys. I will say. I've been kind of trying to figure out how to do the fossils. If I'm gonna make separate videos for every single fossil, I probably will have to. But this Pokemon definitely has some potential. All right. Any decent counter to Dragapult? I think your best counters to Dragapult are usually going to be Fairy types. If we take a look at Dragapult, it kind of struggles to hit Fairy types. So a bulky Fairy type is probably your best bet. Also, like maybe a good Steel type that can take a good specially defensive Steel type because it can take on Fire Blasts. But I think your best bet against it is going to be definitely going to be those Fairy types. So, like for example, if we look at like Fairy types that are in the meta right now, Clefable, for example, the Pokemon that I instantly think of as a fantastic way to beat Dragapult. Alcremie could be pretty decent as well if you ran physical defense. Those Pokemon probably come to mind the most for me right now. Aromatisse, I guess, but that's not a very good Pokemon. I think Clefable is probably your best counter right now as it stands. How about... I'm falling way behind here. How about Cinderace, guys? Okay, I'm going to try to speed up here. How about Cinderace? Cinderace is obviously clearly a really good Pokemon if it gets the Libero ability. Without Libero, it's really kind of bad. But with Libero, it's probably going to get banned in all honesty. If you think about the fact that Protein Greninja was as good as it was early, and then we give it an 120 base power attack, and then we give it an actually relevant attack stat. Greninja, you got to think about the fact that it was as good as it was. Greninja has like awful stats offensively. 103, 95 is like just not awful, obviously, but like really, really not that good. And for comparison, Cinderace has 116. That's pretty serious. All right, let's keep going. All right. 43 subscribers, guys. Thank you guys all so much for coming and stopping by. Or Laurent says, I love your videos. Oh, that's really nice, man. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Jacob Ruby, so with the Trick Room Oranguru plays, I've had a lot of success in Sun Moon meta. I'll update you how it works as long as I play. Wondering if you think it's a trash stat in this new meta. If you found success with it in the previous meta, I can't imagine too much will change. But that said, I'm surprised you found that much success with it. If you honestly found that much success with it in the previous meta, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still good, honestly. Counters for double battles, Extrial, T-Tar, Sandstorm opening. How do you beat that? You're going to want to run Protect for starters on a lot of your Pokemon. Stall out turns of Sand. That's going to be your best bet for starters. Things like Protect and Fake Out will be really useful just to stall out those Sand turns. Beyond that, I think you're going to want to run bulky Water types. Bulky Water types will take on the Steel types. And then maybe something with Levitate to avoid Earthquakes would be really good. That'd be what I would start with. Let's look for like bulky Levitators that are still legal. Galarian Weezing but you could run Galarian Weezing with Levitate and try to avoid, because since Excadrill doesn't really run Mold Breaker, Levitate Galarian Weezing could be a really good option. It takes on those Dark types from Tyranitar, takes on those Ground types because Levitate. Obviously, you're gonna have to be afraid of Iron Head though, I guess, so maybe not perfect. Bronzong, potentially fantastic option actually. Levitate Bronzong might be your best go-to. Rotom Wash is another really good go-to. I think Rotom Wash and Bronzong actually are two very, very good ones. I would look at those. Anyone? Kunkdal Gaming asks, Cool Kendall Gaming asks, anyone know how to counter Cinderace? You're going to counter Cinderace by out-pressuring it. or running powerful priority probably would really help. Yeah, it's a threat. With Libero, that thing is a threat for sure. You're gonna really struggle with that. Any Pokemon that you think are going to be banned in competitive? I think Aegislash could get banned in competitive again. Not necessarily because it was ever too strong. Aegislash, you got to realize when it was banned originally, it wasn't banned because it was insanely powerful. It was banned because people hated playing around 50-50s forced by King Shield. So you're going to probably have to take it to assume that even though it got nerfed and it is brought back in OU, it probably will get the boot again eventually for that same reason, I would imagine. I don't know. I don't think Aegislash is that strong. It's just annoying because those King Shield 50-50s are really annoying. Is Gardevoir dead by Jacob Ruby? Is Gardevoir dead? I hope not. I don't know. Gardevoir, it got Recover, I know, right? This generation? I thought. Am I wrong? Didn't it get Recover? I thought it got something. What were the new moves it got? Maybe it was Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire was a new move. That's kind of helpful. Helps to beat Steel types. I don't think Gardevoir is dead. I think he's going to really struggle when things like Hatterene are in the meta. Hatterene is just a better Trick Room Gardevoir. Now, Gardevoir with a Scarf is still pretty good, but I don't know. That's kind of a tough message too. Tough question yet. How does dual typing weakness... Trainer Z asks, how does dual typing weaknesses work? Like if a Pokemon is Fire and Ice, will a Fire type move be effective or not very effective, and why? So you have to kind of consider it like a multiplier. So we start at 1. Everything is 1 times effective, right? So if you're an Ice type and you're going to hit by a Fire type, the Fire type move is going to be 2 times effective. So you're now a Fire type move hitting an Ice type Pokemon 2 times effective, but a Fire type move hitting a Fire type Pokemon is 1/2 effective. So we multiply 2 by 1/2 and we get back to 1. So a Fire type move hitting a Fire Ice Pokemon is neutral. It hits for 1 times damage. Jacob Berg asks, Lewis Weisberg says, hi, Kraken. Hi, Lewis. How are you? Jacob Berg asks, I've been trying to build a team around Double. What I've picked is a Baton Pass, Body Slam, SD, and CG set. Double, what is CG? Cotton Guard. Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay. SD and Cotton Guard set. What are your quick thoughts on that? Body Slam, Swords Dance, and Cotton Guard. Cotton Guard is a sweet move. That's a cool set. What I would do if I was running that set, let's see. I would run Baton. I mean, that's so. If you're playing in a meta where baton passing stacks is allowed, that's definitely pretty good. It can definitely do this. I would run Fluffy. Body Slam is cool because you can do your own damage. I would probably run Max Special Defense, if anything. So I'd probably go like with EV spread, something like this. That's probably my EV spread, and then run like 4 attack or something. That would be the EV spread I ran with that, and then probably go like leftovers. Or maybe go like Lumberry or whatever the berry that snaps out of Confusion is. Jacob Ruby asks, stream is fine for me, mate. Oh, that's not a question. Jose C says, I want a teammate with 6-star Manitans, easy win. Agreed. Ryan Shu asks, Band or Scarf Dart Manitan. I'm going to say you generally want to run Scarf. Scarf will be the better one overall, but I don't know. Band is fun, I guess. It's a nuclear option. That's what I call it in my video. How can I make Toxicroak work in singles? Good question. Toxicroak is not that good. It's a cool Pokemon. You're probably going to want to run Poison Touch. Hi, baby. Hi, girl. You can do like what I would do is I would run like Swords Dance, not Close Combat. And then you could do like Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, a Gunk Shot, and a Fighting move. And this is actually pretty. Poison Fighting is pretty good coverage. Gotta say, I might just have to do like Cross Chop or Brick Break. I'll go Cross Chop. Hi, baby. Hi, my pup. Cool Kendall Gaming says Cinderace is OP as hell. I agree. Nirvan says how kill Appleton tank. Starters. I would try attacking with an Ice type move. That'll probably do it. Lewis Weisberg says about 200 eggs into a shiny Roselia hunt. That's a lot of eggs, my dude. David Gelner says ice type attacks 4 times hit on Apple's hunt. Yup, exactly. What's the best Tapu Lele replacement? Dude, Tapu Lele, you're not replacing that. That kind of wall breaking power is not something you're just replacing. I wouldn't try, is what I would say to that. Entertainment asks, am I single? I am not single, Entertainment. Daniel, you dirty dog. David Geldner asks, hey, would you say Komodo and Corviknight form a good core? And if so, what else might pair well with them? Great question. This is exactly the kind of question I wanted. That's a fantastic question. All right, so Komodo and Corviknight form a good core. That's a great core, actually. Now, it's not a traditional core, I would say. It's not a core, is actually what I would say. It's a good start to a team, but that is not a core. Because they aren't accomplishing they're not accomplishing goals together, you know? What you're accomplishing with that, with the Komodo, is it's probably, let's say you're running Dragon Dance, or Specs, or Band, or Scarf, or whatever you're running. That's an offensive Pokemon. Corviknight, now, obviously you could run one of the bulk up sets, but Corviknight is not a offensive Pokemon. It's primarily a defensive, kind of tankier Pokemon. So, that is a great synergy. There's great synergy there. Oh my god, the dogs. There is great synergy there, but if I was supporting a team like this, I'd probably find it's a great start. I'd probably find more ways to support maybe my Dragon Dance and Komodo. So maybe like screen support would be a great place to look. More chip damage. You definitely want to find a good hazard setter, for example. Maybe you want to find like a webs user even. I don't know. I would think about hazard support, like screen support maybe. A memento user could be good. Those are all some options. What Jacob Ruby asks, what's the best way to play and chat with you? Your videos remind me of better black and white competitive advice. I'd love to learn more and get help. I mean, I'm going to try to make these videos a kind of once a week thing. We can kind of have a conversation about competitive Pokemon. So the goal is that these will be helpful to all of you guys. So this is probably going to be the best place to chat with me. But if you're looking for another place to chat with me, I would definitely recommend you join my Discord channel, which is in the description box below, Jacob. Go ahead and join that Discord channel. You can talk to me live right there. That's I always respond to people in there the best I can, especially. So go ahead and join that Discord. That's probably the best place besides these videos themselves. Minky Boodle asks the decent. Hi Rock. Guys, I'm gonna adjust the camera right here because you guys got to see this dog. He's just having a grand old time over there.
Rocky.
I hope that camera's still like in a decent angle. All right. Minky Boodle asked, the only decent rain counter that I've found is Dynamax Darmanitan G using Max Flare and Max Hailstorm. Are there another decent weather counters with all the rain teams running around? If you're looking for decent rains like setters, you look no farther than rain beaters. Steel types like Ferrothorn is a fantastic Pokemon. Scizor is a fantastic Pokemon against rain because they're also Pokemon that benefit from rain. So your best way to beat rain teams is going to be to run Pokemon that similarly benefit from rain but are not defined by rain, like Swift Swim users, for example, might be. That's my suggestion there. Asher Johnson asks, what are some Pokemon which can fit in well regardless of what type of team you're making? Basically, what are the first Pokemon that come to mind in regards to versatility? That's a great question, man. Asher Johnson with the dope question, dude. So what are some Pokemon which can fit in well regardless of what time? I think my best answer to that is going to be pivot cores. There's certain moves you want to look for. Like pivot cores will always be good for any team. A Pokemon like Rotom Watch, for example, is so splashable. Its blanket checks are another good thing. Something like Pokemon that are not defined as being in part of a core and don't need a lot of support. So pivots, for example, a pivot core doesn't require a lot of support. So you're going to be able to run like other Pokemon that benefit off that pivot core, like sweepers or walls or something. But that pivot core can pretty much be self-sufficient. So Pokemon that are like bulkier or blanket checky, like Rotom Wash, for example, is a Pokemon that comes to mind, are very, very splashable and can be put on a wide variety of teams. So that's my advice there. But that's a really good question, dude. I could probably spend another hour talking about just that question. And that'd be a perfect topic to make a team building university video about, honestly. Freaking Down asks, yeah, Asher Johnson though. Shout out to Asher Johnson for a dope question. Freaking Down asks, how is there a way to make Eldegoss work in singles? Let's take a look here. So Eldegoss is a support Pokemon. I've actually been planning to make a video about it for a while. Pretty much the set that I would run if you're running Eldegoss is going to be Synthesis, and then you can run Cotton Ball, but you could run Energy Ball. I might run something like a Light Screen, Stun Spore, Leech Seed are good options, and then maybe Energy Ball. The problem that you're going to run into, also maybe like a Rapid Spin could be good. So like this could be a really good Eldegoss set, for example. The problem you're going to run into with Eldegoss, probably like Regenerator then, the problem you're going to run into with Eldegoss is you like give up all offensive pressure when you run this thing. So it's a pure support mon, and that's going to be the biggest thing about it. Yeah. Jacob Ruby, as a teacher whose students love Pokemon, how do I convince them to get into competitive? I teach music and math. That's a good question. I don't know. That's hard. I think you gotta find the students that really enjoy chess. I think is the best comparison to Pokemon. So if you find students that really enjoy chess, that would probably be what I would go to. Alia Rose asks, Krakenation, is it faster to take a Pokemon that needs a mint, bottle caps, and EVs, or to breed for a Pokemon that is bred to have correct IVs in nature? I don't know. There might be people that are more qualified to answer that question than me. I focus mostly on Showdown. I'm not thinking about breeding a competitive team just yet. How can you make an offensive bulky team? That's a really broad question, but I'll start by saying look for Pokemon that are bulky and Pokemon that are offensive. So like a Pokemon that I would use as an example of what is a really good fit for a bulky offense team is this guy right here, Kyurem Black, longtime staple of the OU tier. He's bulky, he's offensive, and I would look for Pokemon like this, for example. I'll make a video about that in the future, though. Do you think Roserade can get OMG? That's not for me. Lewis asks, do you think Roserade can get back into UU? No. Roserade's time, although maybe with a fewer amount of Pokemon around now, if all 1,000, this dog is being real cute right now. If all 1,000 Pokemon were still in the meta, I would probably say no. But the fact that there's so many less Pokemon in the meta means it probably will hang on to its spot. Now, yeah. Roserade's barely been clinging on to UU as it is. So, David Gilder says, thanks. Yeah, dude, you asked a great question. Entertainment says, Heartbreak, Entei. I want you to know that I love you, and our love will never change no matter what, my guy. Okay, he's just like, how can I be the most annoying as possible? This dog. Cool Kendall Gaming says Hatterene is really good against someone who sends Ferrothorn to set up. I think Hatterene's a pretty cool Pokemon. Oralan says, tell your dog he is a good boy.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocky, you're a good boy.
Yeah,
You're a good boy, Rocco. Alright. Jacob Ruby asks, craft beer or domestic beer?
he doesn't like beer.
I don't really like beer that much. When I do drink, I usually go for stuff that I probably shouldn't talk about in a in a stream, but I don't really like beer that much. Let's leave it at that. What's a What's a good team around Darmanitan? Darmanitan is really powerful, really offensive. Also, we're around 40 viewers right now. That's pretty sick, guys. We actually topped 40 for a little while. That was pretty sick. If you guys want to go ahead and share this channel with your friends and get some more people in this Discord, I'm gonna do this for around 15 more minutes. I think I'm gonna call it around 8. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Drop a like. It's been awesome. This is the dream. This is exactly what I wanted to do today. So this has been perfect. Like, this is exactly what I would have wanted. What's a good team around Darmanitan? Nasir Sims asks. Darmanitan's offensive. So you're going to want to pair it with probably some cleaners. It's a wall breaker. This Pokemon is just a wall breaker through and through. So pair it with cleaners. So I think a Pokemon you want to compare it with is, for example, Dragapult would be a really good partner for your Darmanitan. Because Darmanitan's fast, hits like a truck, Dragon Bolt can come in, and while it's not extremely powerful, you can set up a Dragon Dance later in the game and sweep once everything's broken all the way through. The Specific Ocean says, how to determine EV investment for defensive Pokemon, or even when you want an offensive Pokemon to survive a hit from a threat. So those are when you're EVing for splits, usually you just go, if you're offensive, you go 252 speed, Jolly or Timid, and then 252 in your relevant offensive stat. Now, in really specific situations, you're going to need to know, like, if you really, that's a really high level Pokemon play, and that's like, man, Talon, you can only do that around things like omnipresence threats in the meta, so like Talonflame in the past, in Gen 6, Landorus in the past. I'm going to grab some water. Landorus in Gen 7. If there's really specific things you can pick, then you can choose to outspeed them only to a certain degree, or take a hit you need to take. That's how we decide on that. But otherwise, that's kind of that next level. That's probably not good for most competitive players, because that's called counter teaming, and that's not something you can really predict. Like if you EV your Pokemon outspeed your Pokemon X to outspeed Pokemon Y, and then your opponent doesn't have Pokemon Y, well then you just unoptimal EVing. Stinger X Alpha A, sorry I'm late. No problem, dude. We'll probably be streaming for another 12 minutes. It looks like I'm planning on stopping at 8. Alia Rose, Krakenation, would this be a good team, or would you switch something out for another Pokemon? Ferrothorn, Toxapex, Hippowdon, Toxtricity, Drifblim, Kamo. Ferrothorn, Toxapex are a really good defensive core. It's good that you have Hippowdon. Sure. Hippowdon doesn't really make sense, actually. I'll take that back. Drifblim is by far your worst Pokemon on that team. So if you're going to replace Pokemon in order, I'd go Drifblim, and then probably Hippowdon doesn't have any real synergy with that team. So let's start there. Jose C says, everyone's talking about rain, but what are your thoughts on hail? Hail kind of sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Usually people want hail to be good, but hail is just not that good. Just because there's not as many good Pokemon benefit from it. Water type's a better type, stuff like that. George Predotkas, sorry if I'm butchering that, says, are Sandstorm teams like Tyranitar plus Excadrill still really good in this game? Probably not as good as Rain is right now. I'd say the order of goodness for weather goes Rain, Sand, like Rain, Sand, and then a big drop, and then Sun is a decent drop down, and then Hail is way at the bottom. That's my thoughts on that. What other moves? OMG asks, what other moves would you put on a Memento, Stealth Rocks, Runerigus? Well, you got to put an offensive move on there. Stealth Rocks, Memento. I would go with like Earthquake and maybe Shadow Claw. Or you could go with like another move to help your setup mon come in. You could go like T-Spikes or Will-O-Wisp are other two really good options. Maybe you can replace Shadow Claw with like a Willow. That could be a good option. Daisy Blossom asked, do you like this Alcremie set? Modest max HP and special attack, Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam, Mystical Fire, and Psychic. That's a pretty good set. That's just an offensive set. I like it. Seems pretty good to me. Jacob Ruby says, I have to make food for the wife, but I appreciate you answering my questions, bud. I'll join the Discord and hope to play soon. Final question is Toxic Stall dead now that it isn't a universal TM? Definitely more likely to be dead than it was in the past. Yeah, that's a good question. I think Toxic Stall is probably close to dead. I don't think it was ever necessarily a good type, but it's a good question. I think it's probably not as good as it used to be. And it was never that good, so that's kind of maybe a death sentence. My team is Hatterene, Toxapex, Aegislash, Tyranitar, Dragapult, and Rotom Wash. Does this look like a good team to you? You get destroyed by ghost types, my guy. So no. Like ghost types are going to be really good against you. Ghost or maybe like a Pokemon clicking a Shadow Ball will probably be a really good. And like Tyranitar is going to get really overwhelmed, especially now that Pursuit. Now Tyranitar still got Pursuit. That would have been a really good option and helped you with that team. But I would find more Pokemon that beat ghost types on that team. Is Dragon Fang best item for a Dragon type? Probably not. Very rarely would Dragon. Dude, what are you doing, Rocky? Very rarely would Dragon Fang be the best move. Scarf or Ban Darm, Ryan Chu asks. Probably Scarf, right? Probably Scarf is going to be better than, like, I'd say like 75% of the time Scarf is better. But if you want to just get a kill, I would probably, I mean, if you want to get a kill, Ban is going to do that, but in the average matchup, Scarf is better. When Alola Ninetales gets on, Hail will get better, but Rain's still better. Hail will always be the worst of the weathers. Let me put that out there. But I think Rain will always be the best. It is pretty much Sand and Rain have traded off at the top, but right now for a long time it's been Rain, Sand, Sun, Hail way on the bottom. David R says my team thus far: Toxapex, Darmanitan, Dragapult, Polter, I guess I'm guessing that's Poltegeist, Silvally, and Rotom Wash. Thoughts? Depends on your Silvally form, right? Silvally being in any form depends a lot on that. These dogs are just being way too much right now. Okay, guys, 7 more minutes. At 8 o'clock, we're going to call the stream. So let's get all these questions out. I'll try to rapid fire what's left. Saiyan Bro 23 asks, hey, yo, champ, I was wondering how to make Eldegoss competitive. Do you have an idea for a set on it? I actually was talking about Eldegoss earlier. I'll make one for you real quick. This is kind of what I would do. I would go item, probably leftovers. Definitely you want to run Regenerator. I'd go Synthesis. I would go Leech Seed or maybe Stun Spore. And I would go, like, Energy Ball. Now, you could replace Stun Spore or Leech Seed with Rapid Spin. So maybe even, like, I'd go, since you already have Regenerator, and you're kind of incentivized to switch out, I might go Rapid Spin. That'd be my go-to Eldegoss set. Daisy Blossom says, thanks for liking my set. I actually uploaded an Alchemy Sleep video on my channel. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Mickey Boodle says, are weight-based moves good on... Luna! This is Rocky's toy. Are weight-based moves good on Duraludon? Yeah, sure. They're okay. Most weight-based moves are based off physical attacks, though, and you probably want to use your special attack stat more with Duraludon. So your opportunity cost is pretty high, so I would just run... I would probably just run special attacks and not run those moves. Ailey Rose says the Drifblim is mainly there to set up Tailwind to speed up Toxicity. Is there a better option? Yes, absolutely. Your question is perfect. Is there a better option to maybe fill the same role, but stand up on its own as well? So there's definitely better Tailwind users out there, dude. Like Drifblim's one you're using, but like Togekiss is way better. I can go down one by one and just tell you ones that are better. Togequick that you can probably use. Togekiss is way better. Whimsicott is actually a pretty useful mon. If you're looking to set up a sweep, Whimsicott could be really good because you can set up Tailwind and then Memento into Toxtricity. So Whimsicott could be a great option. Mandibuzz is a good Pokemon. Hydreigon's a good Pokemon. Now with Hydreigon, I probably wouldn't run Tailwind. I think Whimsicott could be a really good... If that's what you're using Whimsicott or your Drifblim for, I'd probably go with Whimsicott. Is my advice. Is Sylveon still good even with the Pixelate nerf? Was Pixelate nerfed again? Yes. Okay, so no. Pixelate has been the same since the start of Generation 7. Sylveon is still going to be a decent Pokemon. Probably like Yu-Yu. I'm going to have an aneurysm. I know. They're just like picking the worst time to be so annoying. Power Game says, my name is Hatterene, my team is Hidden Ability Tatterine, Hidden Ability Toxapex, Aegis Slash, Tyranitar, Dragapult, and Rotom Wash. Who should I change to protect against ghosts? Oh my god, this is the last thing I needed. Rocky's such a bitch. He's such a wimp. He's lovely. I love Rocky, but he's a wimp. For that team, though, for your ghost type, I'd probably replace... your worst Pokemon there is probably Hatterene. I'd probably replace Hatterene with maybe a good normal type. Or, yeah, probably with a good normal type. Maybe my go-to to make it less steel weak. OMG, with the 6 Pokemon you have up right now work? No. Let's delete these. These are not 6 Pokemon that you should use together necessarily. Maybe they're good. I don't know. Maybe that was the perfect team that's ever been made. But I wouldn't. That was just me kind of just using that to help you guys team build. So Ailey Rose, thank you guys. Thank you so much, Krakenation. Aw, man, you're welcome. That was an amazing answer and very informative of my options. I'm glad. Oh, I'm so glad I could help you. That's really help. Oh man, that warms my heart. Nice. That's the goal here. Help you guys answer specific questions like that. That's perfect. I'm glad my answer helped you out. That's awesome, Alia. Britcamp says just hash a shiny Impidimp. It's so cute. Adamant 2. EV train on. Attack of course. But what should I EV train on speed as well? I'd probably go for HP since you're usually so slow. But maybe speed's okay. But I'd probably go for HP. Nasir Sim says, my team so far is Hatterene, Copperaja, Darmanitan, and Dragonpult. Is this good so far? Yeah, seems good to me. I like that a lot. That's that's really terrific start there, Nasir. You've got some great wall breakers. If you look, you're kind of like taking textbooks. It looks like out of my videos. Copperaja and Hatterene are good partners. Darmanitan and Copperaja are good partners. Darmanitan is a good partner with Dragapult. Copperaja is a good partner with Dragapult. What I would do next is I would maybe give your team a dark type in this year. So like I would probably look for let's look for a good dark type for your team right now. That's not what I was looking at. What the hell? What's up? Pangoro could be a good option. Hydreigon, probably not. Not Hydreigon. Bisharp could be a good option. I like those couple options. I think Bisharp, you already have a Steel type. Yeah, I like Pangoro for your team, for example. Tyranitar. Actually, no, I'd go for Tyranitar probably, because it gives you that rocker as well. If your Copperaja is not running Stealth Rocks, you could do it for that. Rafi Ahmed says, what would your go-to team be? I don't know, man. I don't really have a go-to team. That's why I like to make the teams. That's why. Powers Game says, thank you. Just need to find a good. Yeah, no problem, dude. I'm glad I could help. I'm glad that you found my answer helpful then, dude. Brit Camp says, got it. Thank you. By the way, you're handsome and have a lovely smile. Aw, that was so nice. Thank you so much, Brit Camp. That's very kind of you.
I know.
McKay Austrich says, Kofagrigus is busted. All right. Well, I don't know. That doesn't give me a lot to work with. But, all right, guys. I'm going to wrap the stream up here. I'm going to call it a night. Did Pokemon questions for an hour. This stream basically just went exactly how I wanted it to. That was awesome. This was basically the dream for this stream. You guys asked perfect questions. All right, we got one more from Sam, bro. We're going to answer it. Another question. How does this Eldegoss set sound? Regenerator, max SPDF, max HP, holding red card. Don't hold red card. Just give it leftovers. And then Pangoro. Good Pangoro set. I would just go like Parting Shot for sure. Parting Shot's great. Knockoff is not. Doesn't get knockoff anymore. My mother God. What's his best dark move? Darkest Lariat. That's not what I wanted. Crunch. It's got to be Crunch. No, or Darkest Lariat. I'll probably go Crunch just for the chance of stat drop. Close Combat or Hammer Arm could be pretty good. And then like another, maybe like an Ice Punch. All right, yeah. Yeah, that's my set for you. And then run max HP, max attack is good. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to call it there though. We're gonna do this again next week though for sure. I thought this was a really good success. So we're gonna definitely do this again next week. Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Definitely, if you found this helpful, come back next week and we'll do this again sometime for sure. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.